Hello folks and welcome to the channel all about economic board games. Today I'm going to be giving you a run through of this game called Automania. You've got the designers at the bottom here and it's had a Dice Tower seal of excellence. And this one takes roughly 60 to 90 minutes. I'll probably say 60 minutes when you're really capable of this game. You played it a few times, and with 2 players, with 3 or 4 players, I think you're probably looking at the max, if not up to 2 hours maybe, but it is generally a quicker game and it is 2 to 4. Now, as ever, I have done an overview video of this last week. If you want to go and check that one out, it's a bit quicker. And the run through today will be myself playing as 2 players, 2-player game. So we've got the reds here and the yellows. And I'll kind of give you a quick summary of what we'll be doing and what the whole game's about before I venture into it. I'm not going to explain all the rules. That'll kind of be apparent as I go through. So we are taking charge of factories producing cars. We've got these 3 different types of cars up here. We're going to be firstly sending our workers to these action spots around here, which allow them to either produce better things for our cars, like better exhaust systems, maybe acquire more fame points, more environmentally friendly, but basically get a host of these tiles which will go somewhere on your factory. So either on the production line itself as machine parts, you'll hire maybe people and staff and managers along here to give you more efficiency. You'll have parts at the top, and then depending on where you went for your action, you'll be producing a car. So this family car will be going down this one here. You can see that's sort of got its own unique path. So you're then producing cars which come out the end. You add up all your stars based on what demand is in either the European markets. You can see Europe is depicted there, and you've got North American markets. So depend on the demand, and you can see the stars. You add up all the stars and they will go on the relevant ships. So if you've gone to Europe and you've got a car which is a value of say 12 stars, you put them on the ships, and then eventually when you get to the sales phase, these cars from the ships are going to be going, if you wish to, onto the landmass, and you're going to be selling them for either victory points or money, or a combination. And that's kind of how you do the game. And these cars will come back and you keep going round to round. You've got 4 rounds and you're acquiring points on this sort of little track around the corner, and that's pretty much it. So in this 2-player game, you got 6 workers each. We've got $6 for the starting player, who's got this kind of number 1 rectangle triangle, and that is represented here by their token. Player 2 is red, and they got that, and they got $7. And you can see red starts ahead with the 1 victory point. So the first thing we're going to do then is yellows. We've also got these secret contract cards, so I'll reveal them for this play. Obviously they're kept secret normally, and I'll go through them shortly. Looking at your board then, you have got these 6 spots that you're going to be putting the machine parts. You've got 2 of the family car, 3 of the small car, and 2 of these sports cars, and you've got 4 spots for your managers. You'll be paying money to host people in those desks. So I'm going to send a worker to one of these 9 spots. Now what do? So these 2 on the edges are acquire a order card, so you can either take one from the top or you can take one of the 3 available. And looking at these then, so to get these are VPs for the end of the game. So to get 4 VPs, you need to produce that car, and it needs to be a value of 12 or more in terms of stars. If you achieve that, you can show the card and then you keep it hidden and score them at the end, and then these are replenished. So that's kind of what they do. You've got the same here, so 1, 2, 3 symmetrical at the top, 1, 2, 3, and they represent the small car, the medium car, and the sports car. And you can see the costs. Anything in red is what you're going to be spending, anything in green is what you can acquire. So you could choose which car you want to go and produce this round. So maybe you want to produce the small car, you'd probably want to go there. Or you got this 1 spot in the corner, which is your choice, a 1, 2, or a 3 car, and you probably want to go there if your opponents have hogged some of the other ones. But there's a twist in this sort of worker placement game. So I'm going to go to here, just start off with a small car. Now, not only do you take the action, but you do that after you take a tile, and you get to take a tile on, in this case, the row. So one of these 4. If I'd have gone here, it'd have been a column, one of these 4 here. So that's kind of, you're looking at these, how many we've got, 4 by 4, 16 tiles, and you're deciding, right, what do I want to do? Do I want to improve my car in terms of a better, sports capabilities? Do I want to bet exhaust? Do I want to make it look better? Do I want to get some of these managers? These ones let you have some grey meeple, which is more workers from round to round. Do I want to get a steering wheel? Now, why would you want some of these? So in particular, the white ones, the steering wheel, the extra luggage, or the, what should we call it, revometer, you are looking at the demand. So at the bottom here in Europe, they are currently demanding these 3 tiles. So you can see they go up from 2, 3 to 4 stars. So they really want cars that've got more luggage at the moment. They want environmental cars, 3 stars for that. And they also are concerned by the power and speed of the car for 2 stars. And you can see in North America, they want these things. So they want, what should we call that, better power steering or something like that, or better steering capabilities. And they're after safety. So that's kind of which market you want to go to, where you're going to get the most stars. It's kind of what sort of machine pieces or technologies, should we say, you want to implement in your factory. And you can overplace those throughout the game as well. So yellow is probably thinking, I could do with some luggage, because that's worth 4 stars. There's also a steering wheel. So they're probably thinking, I'm going to go for the luggage, and they don't feel like they really want to spend free money on that one. So they're going to go here and get another contract card. So before we do that, we take the tile we want. So we go for this one. Then we place that anywhere in these 6 here. Now you can see this family car is going to follow this path here, which also crosses path with these 2. So that one there. And this one's going to go straight down, so there's only 2 spots that goes through, and then this sports car is going to go through 4 spots. So it's basically 2, 3, 4 spots, so you can adapt your sports car more than the others. I think I'm just going to put it here so it makes the most of these 2 cars. I'm not going to think too much about the strategy because it's kind of difficult playing as 2. And we are going to take a contract card in this case. So I'm looking at those and I'm thinking, right, I'm going to take this one. I've already got this one as an S for starting, because I feel maybe I'll focus on the small cars, and there's quite a lot of victory points there. So as those would be face down normally, and they go down over to reds then, so they get to place a worker. Now, interestingly, in this game, you can actually go to this place again. Not if it's your colour, I couldn't go there, but the opponents can oust this player, and you have to spend 1 more meeple than is already there. So in this case, they could send 2 workers, kick this one off, and whoever's colour this is gets that one again to use, unless you've gone to the sales phase, and in that case, you wouldn't get to use it. So let's just say they go there and do that, just to demonstrate that for you. So they've used 2 of the 6, so they really wanted something off this row. And let's just say they really want this exhaust system, so they've gone for that. You take the tile first. Now you can just discard the tile if you don't really want it. It's more just a hogging system to make sure you do an action of sorts. And these are stashed at the top here, so they're going to maybe focus on the sports car. Let's go with that one. Now you can see on the side, it sort of reminds you that the first tile, there's no cost. The second tile is going to cost you 1, and then 2 for your third tile. So there's only 3 of these orange tiles out there, and you can actually see them all: the exhaust system, the spoiler, and the kind of the design as such. So that's the free and play. They've done their action, and they now get to take one of these. Oh, we've got to replenish. And since they're going for sports cars, we are probably going to go for this. Maybe we'll go for this one, because 16 is quite difficult to get up to that. And to complete this, they're going to need, at the time they produce this car, have 12 or more fame, and they're going to have a safety sort of machine part in there as well. So that's them. Over to yellows, and they are going to actually produce something. We'll show you. We're going to produce this small car, so we've got to pay £1, pay that to the bank. I've got a stash of money at the bottom here that's slightly out of camera view. Before they do the action, they're going to take one of these, and we are probably thinking which market they're going to go to. So we decided we're going to go here, and we can see there's actually the environmental sort of part we want, which is in demand at the moment for 3 stars. Just looking at the row, if you did decide to take this 2 money, that means every time you produce a car that goes past that particular spot, you're going to get 2 money, and money is really tight in this game. You've also got this spoiler part, which they could maybe go for and add a little spoiler to this little car. Or maybe they want to get this manager, which is going to cost them another coin to put it in, but it's going to get them a VP at the end of the game. You can see that symbol represents end of the game. And we're also going to get an extra worker. So do I want an extra worker, or do I want to go for the fame already? I'm going to go for, well, not fame, but I'm going to go for this environmentally friendly one. I'm going to put it on this production line, and now I get to take this action, which is produce a car, which you do straight away. So we take this one down, you follow the arrows. So we've hit this technology, and we decide we're going to this market. You choose either this one or this one, and you can see that's worth four stars for this particular car. And then you've got the environmentally friendly one, which is free, so that's 7 stars. There's no stars on the actual path like some of the other lines, and there's no stars from any managers required, so literally 7. So we look at the ships on this side and we find number 7 and we put it there. If you wish to, you could go to a lower one, and it may be tactical to do so, or if someone's already on that spot, you'd have to go to a lower one. Now, you can also bump up your value. Say, for example, well, in this case, we're going to get 1 victory point immediately, but if we decided to want to get more stars to get onto the next ship, in this case would get us 2 victory points, and it's kind of competitive as to get further afield, because when it comes to taking these cars onto the market, whoever is furthest up will be going first, which is crucial because they get first dibs on here. So if they were to bump up to 10 stars, they'd need 3 more stars, and the only way they could do that now is to go to this spot, which you can do at any point on your turn. So we could send 3 workers there, which is a lot considering there's only 6, and that would add 3 stars. So you could go on to 3 and you're on this boat and get an extra victory point. And I'm not going to do that because that's very expensive. Now, on these 2 spots, you can go there and get money, and if you've got dudes left over at the end, you just send them there and get money, or you can get these extra sort of fame and marketing points. And it doesn't apply here. Say if I go here and red goes there, anyone and any number can go there. They don't return as such, so there's slight difference from the other actions. So what have we done then? They've sent a car there. They've done that action over to reds. Now they're looking at the market, so they're going to compete on this one. Maybe they're going to go for a worker. So we're going to go over to... Oh, they could really do some production on here. And let's go for the cheap one, and we're going to go and take this. So this is I think it's a staff manager. So we put that on one of the hotspot desks, and you can see there's a red coin required, so we'll pay that. They're also going to get one of these grey workers, which sticks with you throughout the game. Slight difference to your own workers in terms of you don't get them back once someone hogs your space. So we've took an action, we've took a tile. We're now going to pay another coin to actually do the action, which is produce a small car. And in this case, that's a bit sucky because it's going to go down here and it's got no abilities there. I probably shouldn't have done this actually, because it's actually going to be 0 unless we spend 1. It's just demonstration for you anyway. So we'll send that down there. They have got nothing unique about this car to hit any demand. They're going to go to North America. They've got 0 basically, so you can see that there's no zeros actually on there for stars, so they're going to have to send at least one of their workers there to meet the requirements of putting 1 on here, which might be fine, because if no one else actually goes there, they get first dibs on here, which means they get 5 money and 1 victory point, or 3 and 3. So we'll see how that pans out. Over to yellows, and yellows have got a nice little production going for the small car. Maybe they want to go and get a component to increase the stars. So we're going to go over to... let's go for this one, because if I make the most of that luggage, you can see it's still 4 stars, and I'm going to have to produce this medium-sized car in this case, and I've got the money to do so. So we'll go there. We'll take this exhaust system. Now, the reason I've gone for the exhaust system is because I can add tiles at the top. If I went for this 2-star, which I quite like the look of, I could take that, but it'd have to replenish or replace, should I say, one of these 2 here, because I can only fit 2 on this sort of small car production line I'm doing. I could put it elsewhere, but at the moment I'm kind of focusing on the smaller. So I'm not going to take... Oh, where did I get that from? Up here, was it? I can't remember now. Let's just say it was there. So yeah, we've got a new exhaust system for that. Great. And Actually, that wasn't right because I actually took the exhaust system from there, didn't I? Let's just say it was there. So yeah, we took the exhaust system, we've added that on. We now get to produce. We have to spend 2 money, and that's that. One of these medium-sized cars. So you can see it's going to go here. We've got 1 star, and we're going to go over to this market. So that's valued, this extra luggage is 4 stars. So we've got 5 in total, and that's it. So 5 takes us over to here, and I'm going to send 1 extra man to get 6, which takes me onto this ship here, just squeezed on, and I'm going to get 1 victory point for doing so. So yellows have caught up victory point wise. Did I do that victory point for that ship? I'm trying to remember now because yellows started there and they've already acquired 2 victory points. So I think I probably forgot to add that on. Over to the reds. So they got 3 dudes here. They got this grey one as well. What exciting things can we do? They really need to start thinking about that machine components. And I think looking at now, these 2 at the top on both sides are what could potentially come out. Well, they're going to come out at some point in the future. So you maybe want to prepare for them if you haven't quite got the items here on the board at the moment. And they're all going to shift down and get more valuable. So maybe they want to focus on the steering wheel maybe or the rev counter. And let's say, oh, tricky. Let's just go here. And they're going to take this rev counter. They're going to concentrate on their sports cars. They're going to take a sports car 1 because they kind of focus on that. Now, in this game, you don't have to focus on just 1 production line. It's probably best to get a few. Keep your options open because they do interchange with some of the production lines. So they have done their action. Over to yellows. Is there anything amazing they really want? Are they really going to boost this small car? It's like a 107 on steroids currently. So we're going to go here, and they are going to take a spoiler and bump this one up. And they have to pay 2 money. So you can see we're already getting through our money, and they're going to produce this sort of family car. So we go along here, 1 star. They're going to go to this market. Makes sense while the luggage is there. So that's another 4. So that's 5 stars. And they're in this market here, so 5 here. Obviously they can't, they'd have to spend 3 extra workers, which they haven't got to shift over, and that's fine. So they have stuck with that one. No victory points instantly for that. Over to reds, and reds, considering they got this rev counter, and it's probably this one that's going to go at first, they're probably thinking, well, there's no environmentally friendly ones. There is a luggage left. Do they want to go for the luggage? So yeah, we'll show you the luggage one. So in this case, they can't go back to this spot because that's their own one. Until someone ousts them, they could then oust them. So they're going to go to this yellow one. They're going to have to spend 2 workers to kick this one out, which is really nice for yellows. They got an extra man. They're going to take this luggage spot. Did we decide on? Oh no, did we decide on the luggage one? Yeah, we did, because that may potentially come out. And we're going to put it there because we don't want to hog these stars just yet. And they get to do the action, which is pay 2 money, and they're going to be producing one of these. Oh, they haven't actually got a family car. Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong one. Red's at the top here. So we're going to go 1 star, and this rev counter here is 2 stars. So 3 stars, produce the car, 3 up here. They haven't got any more workers to up it, and it probably wouldn't be worth doing anyway because it's kind of full, or close to full on that one. That's reds done. Over to it. So okay, so reds have now got no workers left. So they probably, I can't remember if they do it now or on the end of on the beginning of the next stage. But basically, when one person is, oh no, it's on the next stage because it's actually part of your turn to do it, I believe. So okay, they've done their action. Over to yellows, and yellows are going to. They're going to get this manager guy, so they're going to go. Oh, they can't afford it because you'd have to pay 3 money, and they've only got 1. Maybe so. We could go to this spot, which would let us. Yes, we're gonna do that. Well, let's work our stars. If we did produce this small car, we'd have to pay a coin, which we've got. It'd be 1, 2, and if we did go here, that'd be another 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is definitely what we're going to do. So we're going to go here. So you get to choose 1, 2, or 3, depending on which car you want. And we're going to go for the 1. Now, they're both being hogged at the moment. And rather than us spending the 2 workers to oust that red one, which would give us one of these tiles, which to be fair is probably worth doing because this one's here as well. Oh, you know what I did forget to do is I forgot to pay the 1 coin to do to place that one down. So let's just say we've spent that on previous rounds. So good example, we got no money and we kind of need both workers now, or do we? Because I want the fame, because at the moment, right, I've got a master plan. We're gonna go spend 2 workers to kick this dude out. Oh no, I can't, because I then need to spend 2 money to put the 3rd one on. Back to plan A. We're gonna go here. We're gonna put 1 dude on here to get some money, which is handy having workers spare. We're then going to spend the 1 to produce the 1 car. So we've got 1 here, and we have stars wise 1, 2. We're going to this market, so that's going to be another 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we're going to put 1 extra work on the fame to make it 10. That's worked out okay. So we've got 10. We're going to get 2 victory points for that. Now, the disadvantage of going here, there's only 1 on the board, is obviously you're not getting a tile. But in this case, I couldn't really afford to put that down. I couldn't afford to put one. I could have afforded to put that down. But yeah, I'm happy with that. It's got me into the next ship. And now back to red. I'm going to have to check the rules on that, actually, whether when you finish your turn, you decide you're going to the withdrawal phase. So basically, this is the action phase we're currently in, and once a player can't do an action, they decide they go to the withdrawal phase. So let's just assume that is the case, and it's red now. So red decides on their token where are they going to go on one of these 4 spots. So what do they mean? If you go here, you're going to be, you follow the arrow up, you're going to be 1st place next turn, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. But they do different actions depending on, if you go first, there's less you can do, and if you go last, there's more you can do. So if you go for this spot, you can have the capability to actually ship 2 cars maximum from your ships to whichever landmass you're on. This one is you do the same 2 cars, but you also get 1 of these tiles, and you can see this arrow system here. And this is great because it's like a bonus tile, and you might really have needed this manager here, but she wasn't on the board, which she wasn't in this case. And she would let you get an extra pound or dollar, whatever it is, from here if you ever go there. And we've got the rev counter as well. If you go here, that's 3 cars this time you can ship over, and you also get to take an extra 1 of these order cards. And if you go last, you get to do as many cars as you want. So red was up. Now red are in a position where they've only got 2 cars out there, so they're probably just going to go for this one because they're not too fussed about starting player, but they kind of know that yellows have got 4 cars out and they're probably going to have to go for last position anyway. And if they do go here, they're going to get 1 of these tiles. And I think we're going to go for this one because they got the money to do it. And this is, so yeah, they've gone there. This is basically, as I say, you get an extra money when you go to this spot. There's a victory point at the end. They're going to go here, and that's 2 money to host them in the office. Now, before I move on, I've done the wrong one. No, I haven't done it yet. You can overlay any tiles on here you wish. You can overlay these as well, but they have to be of the same person. So in this case, I'd have to have this chap, another staff manager, and later on in the Bs, there's one that gives you 2 meeples. You could also have 2 types of one, as long as you pay the money, but you can't overlay, for example, this one on a future round with that. So just bear that in mind. And now red gets to, well, you stay there for a sec. And it goes over to yellow because they've equally finished their turn in the action phase, and they're going to have to go here really because they've got 4 cars. Now, you don't have to. You can keep cars on there for future rounds, and maybe that's tactical play because someone else, if let's just hypothetically say red had this spot and you knew they were going to get something here that you really wanted, it might be beneficial to leave that one there because next time the odds are you might be first again and you get the chance to do it. So yellow's going to go there. We'll shift those up. So I think I'd probably do that after this, but they'll swap around. I'll do that now before I forget. So they'll be starting play next time. And well, actually, I can see the reason why you don't do that, so it reminds you which one you're on. And so now you look at North America first. You look at who has the highest ship, and in this case, this sneaky little one down here is first. So we literally take that, and this will be one of red's 2. So they can only do maximum 2, which is fine. Then they get to take any of these spots. Clearly, they're going to go for one of these 2, and they're going to go for the money and the VP. So they're going to get 5 money and 1 victory point. Now, in a 2-player game, there's a slight rule change. You, as the second player, if there was yellow to come here, they couldn't then go on this spot on the same row. They'd have to choose a different row, and that's only a variant in a 2-player game. In any other game, you could go here and wherever you want. So reds have gone there. Over to, so there's no one else left. We go over here, over to this side, the European market. Yellow's highest. They're going to go for, they're going to need some money, because this is kind of how you acquire money other than going to this spot, which costs workers, and no one really wants to do that. And they get 3 victory points. They're not too fussed about the big 6 just yet, because they are having a nice lead on that victory point track anyways. So they have got the capability here, folks, to do as many cars as they want. So they are fine. So they are going to go, so 2-player game rules, we'll follow that. We're going to go here for 4 victory points. Here we're going to go for the 1 money and the 1 victory point. So you can already see, folks, that producing a lot of cars, it's taken a lot of resource and a lot of money, but it's also producing you a lot of money and a lot of victory points, which, you know, you're building your engine, you're getting more options to do things on your factory there. And finally, we're going to take this one. Now, you can see the case here that we've put a lot of effort into producing that car. You know, we've spent money, we've spent an action, we've spent workers, and in a 2-player game only, I can only go here for 1 victory point. So I'm probably thinking I'm going to leave it there, and I've got a better odds. If not many cars go there, I've got odds of getting it a bit further up and getting something more for us. I'm going to leave it there just to represent that. So over to red, and they're probably thinking, you know what, I'll just take the victory point. And once that's done, you then get to take these cars back, which is great. And that's kind of the downfall of leaving them on here. So you take those back. And you will then take all your workers back. Now, the grey ones, you look at your staff manager in this case, and you can see that you'd start with 1, so you get that 1 back. Over to yellows, they put their guys back. We then take all of these tiles off. Yes, we're going to get some juicy new ones coming out. So you take the A's first, and then there's a load of B's. Bear with me while I do this monotonous task. Now, as you get into the B's, there are some they're similar tiles. They're just better, more victory points or better ratio of stars on them, and for example, this guy might have 2 stars on it, so that's kind of what you should expect in the Bs. And as I say, we're on to round 2. There's only 4 rounds, and we replenish these bottom ones as well. So we've already gone through the A's, so the first 2 rounds are going to be the A's, and then you're going into the Bs. Now, I'll probably call this my last round, to be fair, so I'm just going to show you what's in some of the Bs. So victory points, we've got 2 stars for that engineer chap, 2 stars for the exhaust, so you can see some similar stuff. 4 victory points for that manager there, so host of goodness. So we've done that. We have changed the round mark, and now finally you have to change the demand. And before I do that, I'm just going to put those 2 there and swap these starting player order. So how the demand works is you look at who is last currently in the victory point lead, which is reds, and they basically choose, they say left or right, but I tend to go for the colours, but you've got either red or blue. And this will alter the demand. So the bottom 2 are going to come off straight away. These 2 are going to go down. And red is going to decide, right, red had a strategy. They kind of want to favour this one and this one. And it was this one, wasn't it, they were going to do. So they decide blue. So they choose both blues. Blue goes down, those reds stay there. And you can see the arrow on the board shows that that's going to go back up there. And this goes back up here. So these are all the demand tokens. And interestingly, in the box, there's 2 with question marks that you can write your own stuff on if you want to be creative. But these essentially are going to flow from one to the other, depending on who's last. And it's like a bit of a catch-up mechanism and which sort of demand tokens they favour. And the ones that are already on the track, you can see they're going to get more valuable for stars as it is. And I believe that is the sort of the end of the turn refresh phase. And we are good to go. It's going to be reds this time. We are probably looking to, is there anything really nice out there? Sports car time, I think these guys are going to go for. Although that's a way off really. Maybe they could have a chance of doing this one. I reckon that's probably achievable this time. And you can see, ooh, this might work out. So reds are going to go here. You know what? We're going to get that double star first. At the moment, if they produce that, that'd be worth 4. They've got the green energy, which is nothing. They could do with a steering wheel and a rev counter. Steering wheel's worth 3. Let's go for a steering wheel first, if that's possible. Actually, I'm red. I'm looking at the wrong one, aren't I? I'm so confusing. So we've got the rev counter and we've got the luggage because we want to make as many stars to try and get past this 12 plus. So actually, it doesn't really benefit me. Although we do have that one. If we get that steering wheel first, so to do so, I'm going to have to go in one of these two to acquire that. We're going to go here and we're going to take this steering wheel. We're going to plonk that on our sort of supercar track. Actually, do I want to replace this one? Because if I am focusing over here, I've then got space to put the safety one I want without compromising stars. I'm going to do that, folks. So I've covered one, which is fine. And the action in this case is to spend 2 money, which is going to produce me one of these sort of medium family cars, which is 1 star and a rev counter, which I'm probably worth going here. So that's going to be 4 stars. There's nothing extra from there. 4 stars gets me here, and you know what? I'm gonna stay there because it's going to cost me 2 workers to go higher up, which I don't want to do in this case. So we've done that over to yellows, and yellows are thinking. So they haven't really got any more capacity to focus on this one. Maybe they could go for the dice and just go all out and spend on that. Yeah, we're going to do that. So they're going to go to this one here. They're going to take the dice slightly out of space, but that's going to cost them $2 to produce that one on top. In this case, we have to spend another $2 to produce this car here. And that's going to go 1. We're going to go 3 because that's the maximum, so that's 3. And we've produced that. Very low producing cars at the moment. Over to reds, which I have left that spot available. Secret strategizing. So the reds are going to go here. They're going to spend the free money before I forget for that. And they're going to take this one. They're going to put it on. Oh, it's up here. I keep forgetting this star here. And they're going to produce a supercar. So this supercar then, it's got 1 star. It's got 2 3 stars, or should I say 1 plus the 2 is 3, plus another 4 is 7, plus the 3 is 10, 11, so they've got 11 stars currently before they come out, and we're trying to achieve 12, so we're going to send 1 more worker to that marketing area, which is 12 stars now, and we're over in the North American one, and we've just got into this spot here, which is great. So we've got 12 stars. We've got 3 victory points straight away. Really needed that. And we have completed this one. So we produced a sports car. It had 12 or more stars, and it did have a safety rating used during that particular production. So that's going to be 3 victory points, which we save for the end, and we keep that hidden. That was a really nice go for reds. Over to yellows. So they are going to try and produce one of these small cars. Is it beneficial? So you can see they've really focused on the European market, and they haven't really got the demand tokens over for America. But maybe they can change that by... Well, they got no money as well. So they're going to go over to here. They're just going to take a random... Well, not random, but they're kind of focusing on the small cars, which are kept secret. And in this case, they're going to get this rev counter because they're thinking, right, I want to diversify, maybe get some options over in America. And this one will eventually go to 4 stars. But dependent, you remember, there's only 2 rounds left after this, so 1, 2, so it will reach 4. And we're going to put that, we're going to decide to put it there because then it's a bit of sports car and a bit of the family car as well. we did the action before we took the tile, which was the wrong way around, but we got there in the end. Over to reds, and let's not think too hard now. This video is going to go on for ages probably. We're going to... Oh, we want to produce another sports car. Let's go crazy. So another sports will win. We've got any money though. But we've got loads of workers. Oh, and we get an extra buck if we go there as well. Yeah, that works actually. So we're going to go for another sports car, and you can put... So we're going to put 3 of these down on the money, which gets us free money normally. But we've got this this manager here, which I believe is continuous for each one rather than once per turn. So we're going to take 3 more money. That's great. And we're going to pay the free money to actually do... What have I done? Oh, I'm going to do this sports car on it. So we take the tile first, and we have got this spot. And if we do go to this market, that's kind of where we're beneficial. So we're probably worth just taking the 2 victory points, because we made the same car last time and it was 12. And since we can't get to 14, we're going to be on this ship anyway. So I might as well sacrifice the star and get 2 victory points, because we're not going to get to the 16 plus. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sacrifice that 1 star anyway. So we've gone here, we've paid the money, we took our tile, we now produce the car, we've got 1 star, we're choosing this market, so that's going to get us another 2, so that's 3, another 4, that's 7, another 3, that's 10. So we've got 10 stars, we're going to get our 2 victory points now. 10 stars as a plan gets us on that ship, and we get another 2 victory points. So you can see how we're already catching up to yellows. Amazing. Over to... yellows. Now reds actually haven't got any more workers, so again I can't remember if it's now or on the next turn, but again they would decide which of these they'd go first. Now if you just wanted to skip the action phase, which I can't see why you would, you could just say, right, skipping the action phase, and my action is going to be to withdraw and go and do this first. If yellows really wanted to beat reds or whoever to a certain spot, because maybe they really want one of these tiles, yellows in this case is going to go and make a small car, and they're going to go here, and they're going to take this manager because they haven't got one yet, and that's going to cost them... Oh, they've got no money, so they're going to send one there to get the money to pay for that one. Now this one, she lets you... She's marketing, I think it was. She lets you sell an extra car when it comes to here. So on here, you're limited to that, but you get a +1 in this case, which is really nice. So we've spent the 1 to do that. We take the tile, which we've done already. We're going to produce this small car. We've got 3 stars now. This one, 4, 5. And this one, another 4, so that's 9. And 9 takes us to here. We're going to spend 1 more. We're going to go all out and get on this 10, which gets us 2 points because reds are catching up. And let's just say they're done. They're going to get an extra coin there. Reds decide they want to go. They've got how many cars out? 2, 3. So they're going to go for this one, which means they get... We'll just take a random one. And yellows are next. And they're like, right, we've got 3 cars out as well. We're going to go last. We don't mind because we want to get them produced. We then pick a market. So it's going to be the North America first. These guys go first. They're going to go for the free money and the victory points. And that was, how many was it? 3. 1, 2, 3. Over to the next one. And we're going to go for 2 victory points and 2 money. And there's no one else there. Yellows are first dibs on here. They're just going to get the points in this case. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Next yellow one is up. They're going to get the points, and reds have kind of been stuffed again. And reds are up. They're going to take the 2 points. And then yellow, you know what, they're just going to get that 1 point. And there we are, folks. We then do the same refresh phase. We'd change all these out for the bees, take our workers back. We'd be in round 3. We'd get these cars back. And then whoever's lowest, in this case red, would choose, and we're going to go for the reds or the blues in demand. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm just going to quickly explain how scoring works, which is kind of explained at the top. So you score your points throughout the game with these sort of red symboled victory points, and you will get, so this symbol means you're going to get either a coin or a victory point for each car that's left on the market. I think it's money this side, and victory points this side. So you don't have a choice, I believe. So if you're on this side, you're going to get victory points for those, and if you're on this side, you're going to get money. And you figure out that, you then go into get your end game points. So any cards you've managed to complete, so this one you get your 3 points in those green ones. Any little manager guys or ladies that have those points on your score now, and sometimes these have points on as well, so you'd score those. And then finally, interestingly, whoever has the most money will get 10 points, second most 6, third most 3 points. And that's interesting because normally it's a ratio of 2 money for 1 point, etc. But throughout the game, you're constantly having to keep an eye on your opponents and how much money they got. And if someone's got 20, 30 money, and you're like, you know what, I'm not even going to bother chasing them, you might as well invest all that money into buying more things, doing more stuff, spending more money to house people. Whereas if it's like one player's got 4 money and you're like, okay, that's achievable, am I going to go and get 5, try and attain 5 money and keep it stashed up to take those 10 points? So I like that competitive element to it. You add up all your points, and whoever has most points is the winner. So for me, I think this game, it plays really nice with 2, it works, and that 60-minute mark is achievable. I like how there's a lot of different areas to think about. There's a real flow of this production chain. You have to focus on which managers you can attain if you can get hold of them, and that is dictated by how much the costs are, and money is tight. And you're kind of constantly thinking, right, I'm trying to meet these demand, these order cards as well, because there's extra points on there and you can get loads of them quickly, and you're trying to really make it as efficient as you can and get them out at the right time to hug the spots on the ships, because player order matters there, because that player order then comes onto here and gets you, more money and more points. And it's a very tight game in terms of that, and every coin counts, and you really want to utilize these workers as best as you can. Now, I actually didn't mention what these yachts do. So I'm sidetracking suddenly, but if you do get 18 or plus, you get to put your car, whichever one it was, on here, and you get 9 victory points straight away, which is ace. But you don't get to take that back. Normally you get them back after the round until the next sales phase. So that's kind of one little difference there. But going back to the variables in this game, the way the demand flows as well is nice, but you can kind of see what's going on. I like how this frees up the game to just get more money and more stars if you really want to. And then there's the intricacy of which sales spot you're going to go to. Some of these might be handy, and I like how these are replenished, and you've got all these bees as well, which I showed you. And it's just a lot of flexibility in the game as well, the way you get the cars back and the way you can overlay these tiles as well. And these are just fairly straightforward and simple. It's probably a light, just touching on medium complexity game. Now, if you guys have played Kanban, which is another sort of car production game, which I really found very interesting, I've played that a few times. This is kind of a lighter version of that, really. It just gives you the same theme of producing cars and looking after your team and your production, rather than all the granular stuff in Kanban. So if you do like that game, but you're looking to sort of get your family into something a bit lighter, then this is probably for you. And there we are, folks. Hopefully that run through has been of use to you.